My best friend Margaret divorced. She left me with $1 billion and her son, Jay. I raised Jay through thick and thin, and just as I was about to start my life as a single wealthy woman, he video called me and spotted the ultra-thin condoms on my nightstand. That night, he went insane, scaling the school walls to rush home. He pinned me down, tearing open the condom wrapper while gripping my throat. Emily, if you're so desperate for a man, why not choose me?
Hi, all Twilight's novel fans. Subscribe the channel now and unlock 100 romance novels for free. Please subscribe and fill out the form below.
Welcome to listen to my full sweet love series novel. I'm the blogger and I'm Twilight's novel. Now let's start the main story.
Slap. The sound of the slap finally made Jay stop. His grip on my neck loosened. I struggled to sit up, my lips trembling before I managed to force out a few words. You should call me godmother. Jay, his cheek red from the slap, stayed silent. The torn wrapper still lay on the white sheets, a glaring reminder of what had just happened. Tonight's events were beyond anything I could have imagined, and the ache in my chest was impossible to ignore. I adjusted my fallen shoulder strap, desperate to pretend nothing was wrong. I understand you don't want me to date. No child likes the idea of a blended family. I promise I'll wait 2 more years, until you graduate, before considering this again. But you have to promise me you won't act so recklessly next time. Recklessness. A simple phrase to cover up the absurdity of what had just happened. But clearly, it was all my wishful thinking. Jay refused to take the out. His gaze was full of mockery as he stared at me. Emily, I was seconds away from fucking you, and you call that recklessness? My blood ran cold. My head spun like it had been struck. I snapped. Jay, shut your mouth. Jay fell silent. The air between us turned deadly still. I clutched the sheets, racking my brain. Where had I gone wrong? Was it because Jay had been abandoned by his parents at 12, warping his psyche? Or was it because I'd failed to guide him properly through adolescence? My thoughts spiraled uncontrollably. Before I realized it, Jay had laid his head on my lap, his face buried against my stomach. Emily. He reverted to calling me by my name, still refusing to say, godmother. Can't it just be the two of us, like it's always been? No. If I were still 22, facing a passionate 20-year-old like Jay, I might have fallen headfirst into love. But I'm 30 now. And Jay isn't some random young man. He's my best friend's son, the boy I've raised for 8 years. My godson. Late at night, I lay wide awake, unable to sleep. The man beside me should have been my recent charming date. But hours ago, Jay had punched him and thrown him out of the hotel. Now, Jay had taken his place, his arms locked around my waist like a possessive thief. Emily, if you can't sleep, let's put those condoms to use. I immediately shut my eyes. A soft chuckle vibrated against my back. His grip around me tightened. Within half an hour, Jay's breathing steadied into sleep. Youth. So quick to drift off. I kept staring into the darkness until my phone lit up, casting a glow across the ceiling. Emily, are you awake? I'm coming back home. 2 simple messages shattered the fragile calm I'd built over hours. Margaret. My best friend, 10 years my senior, Jay's birth mother, settled abroad for over a decade, was finally returning. If I'd heard this news before tonight, I'd have been overjoyed. 8 years. I'd raised Jay for 8 years. Finally, I could free myself from the burden that had kept me single all this time. But life is a twisted play. Jay's furious words still roared in my ears. Emily, if any random man can have you, why can't I? I didn't sleep a wink. Only as dawn broke did I reply. When's your flight? I'll bring Jay to pick you up. Margaret's return was abrupt. Her flight was the next afternoon. I had no time to process last night's chaos before putting on a flawless mask to greet my long-lost best friend. Jay, however, was different. Since last night, he'd grown bolder, more unhinged. While I was brushing my teeth, he crowded behind me, his taller frame easily caging me in. Emily, you smell so good. His hot breath fanned over my neck. Before I could rinse the toothpaste from my mouth, his tongue invaded, stealing the minty taste. Jay! I shoved him away, my hand trembling midair before I finally slapped him. I'll remind you one last time. I'm your godmother. This was the second time I'd hit him. Before this, even when 12-year-old Jay first returned from abroad, covered in bruises from fights, mocking and sneering at me, I'd never laid a hand on him. Slap. Jay's head jerked to the side, his lips splitting. My forced ruthlessness cracked instantly. Does it hurt? He dodged my outstretched hand. Slumped in the doorway, his tall frame radiated gloom and obsession. My helplessness overwhelmed me. I clenched my jaw and looked away. Margaret's flight is tonight. You're coming with me to pick her up. Jay and I waited at arrivals for what felt like forever. Finally, Margaret appeared. Her voluminous curls bounced as she strode out in a trench coat, untouched by time. I raised my welcome sign, then froze as she paused around the corner, exchanging an intimate cheek kiss with her current husband. My feet rooted to the spot. My eyes locked onto her husband, holding a 3-year-old boy. The picture-perfect family of 3 stood there, radiating warmth. Emily. Jay's resigned voice snapped me back. I'm not even crying, so why are you? I was crying for Jay. Until today, neither of us had known this child existed. No warning. Margaret had coldly thrust her new son into Jay's world. At a cafe near the airport. The silence was suffocating. Margaret nudged the boy forward, forcing cheer. Teddy, remember the Chinese I taught you? Say hello to your brother. The boy squirmed, refusing to speak. When pressured, he burst into tears. Margaret flushed, her husband quickly standing. I take him elsewhere. As they left, Margaret exhaled, turning to Jay with an apologetic smile. Jay, how's school? Adjusted to the teaching style here. Jay's expression never changed. Not hostile, but not the anger I'd expected either. I've been in college for 2 years. A bit late to ask now, isn't it? Margaret sighed. Jay, can't we just talk properly? Jay smirked. Don't you have enough people to talk to? The tension thickened. I instinctively defended Jay. He caught up quickly in high school, got into a great university, and might study abroad in 2 years. Margaret seized the lifeline. Abroad sounds perfect. I have connections in country A. Not happening. I'm not leaving. Jay cut her off, his gaze icy. What came next made my stomach twist. And I'm never leaving Emily. Margaret missed the subtext, nodding along. No problem. I'm settling back here. I can take care of things. At settling, Jay's face darkened. You're staying in the country? Margaret, I thought you loved living abroad. Why come back now? His barrage made Margaret stiffen. Jay, Daniel's getting his green card soon. We'll reunite as a family. Even if you don't like them, at least pretend. Jay scoffed. His reaction was fiercer than seeing his mother's secret child. After a scathing look at us both, he stormed off. Only Margaret and I remained. Emily. She composed herself, offering a strained smile. You've grown even more beautiful. Life's treated you well. I was high risk with Teddy, too exhausted to reach out much. You and Jay seem closer than he and I ever were. I listened quietly until the last line made me tense. Where will you stay this time? We have a villa in the suburbs. And Jay? Will he move in with you? Margaret hesitated. Then she smiled. Emily, since it's you, I'll be honest. I've started over. Jay would be miserable with us. It's best if he stays with you. My tears fell instantly. This isn't fair. Not to Jay. And not to me. Before I could protest, Jay reappeared, dragging me away. Margaret's shouts faded behind us. By the time he shoved me into the car, my face was drenched. Jay leaned in. He kissed each tear away. Stop crying. I know she dumped me on you again. But Emily, I've got nowhere else. No. He had options. After the divorce, Margaret had split her assets. Half for herself, half for me. On Jay's 18th birthday, I transferred everything to him, including over 30 properties nationwide. He could live in a different one each month. Jay read my mind, smirking. Emily, I never had a home. If you abandon me too, where do I go? His words shattered me. I cupped his face. Suddenly, I saw the 12-year-old boy again. Fresh from abroad, bruised and snarling. His first words to me had been, "You're the mistress Dad funded?" The venom in his bilingual curses had been staggering. 8 years later. That mouth only spat different filth. Emily, crying won't make me pity you. It just makes me want you more. After the airport, Margaret scheduled another meetup. She also wired me a fortune. Emily, I know I've wronged you. This is compensation. Jay's grown. If he's too much, kick him out. Just treat him like a younger brother. Jay deleted each message, sneering. A burden? I've been nothing but obedient. I said flatly. You're a burden on my love life. At 22, I took Jay in. The first 6 years were just learning to coexist. Once he turned 18, I dated endlessly, only for Jay to sabotage each attempt. Last night's date had been the most promising. We hadn't even defined the relationship before ending up in bed. Mostly because I'd been desperate. I couldn't keep living for Jay. Jay snarled. He always lost it when I said such things. Emily, you know exactly how this provokes me. Now I'll punish you. He bit my lips swollen, then trailed lower. I couldn't push him off. So I shut my eyes. Jay, can't we just be normal siblings? I didn't even dare ask him to see me as a mother. Just an older sister. Anything but this. Jay laughed against my skin. Ever met a brother who wanted to fuck his sister? I gave up, tears streaming. This twisted dependency had started at Jay's 18th birthday. Emily. The lanky teen had become clingier than a newborn. Even during storms, he'd begged to share my bed. I'd refused firmly. Yet he'd sneaked in anyway. Jay thought I was asleep. So he pried my lips apart. Trailed kisses down my body. Thunder shook the windows. My lashes fluttered in the lightning's glare. I was a coward. I'd pretended it was a nightmare. The next day, I'd started dating. From then on, Jay changed. He grew possessive, obsessive, relentless. He ruined every date, video called nightly for check-ins. If I missed one, he'd skip class to come home. Jay was a monster. So was his father. Margaret. A selfish mother. A normal woman. Emily, we barely talked last time. At our next meeting, Margaret sat poised. Gone was the hysteria from 8 years ago. I owe you my gratitude. She knew exactly how cruel she'd been, dumping her own burden onto the girl she'd mentored for 14 years. Jay's always been difficult. Her words made me tense. Did she know? At 7, his father and I were already broken. At 10, I dragged him abroad during the divorce. Those years broke me. I had nothing left for him. He fought constantly, nearly got into drugs. He pushed everyone away. Except you. Emily, you gave him what I never could. So of course he clings to you, sabotages your dates. He can't bear to lose you. No, she didn't know. Margaret hadn't guessed Jay's darkest desires, or our sick dynamic. Like my past self, she only saw the surface. After her speech, Margaret finally reached the point. I've reconnected with Jay's father. He's agreed to arrange a suitable fiancé. Once he marries Emily, you'll be free. Free? Really? This is a family dinner. I shouldn't be here. Under the table, Jay gripped my hand. Emily, remember? You wanted us to be siblings. That makes you family. I tried pulling free. No luck. Even when Margaret and Mr. Johnson entered, Jay refused to let go. Seeing me, they paused, then pretended nothing was wrong. Jay, you've grown. I hear you're at S University. Mr. Johnson assessed Jay like a business prospect. Jay scoffed. Spit it out or we leave. Mr. Johnson's eye twitched. Your mother begged for this meeting. Don't waste this chance. Meet a few socialites, build connections for marriage. Before Jay could retort, the door reopened. Mr. Johnson, Mrs. Miller. A polished young woman entered. She knew why she was here. Blushing when she saw Jay. Jay stood abruptly, glaring at his parents. My life isn't yours to control. Mr. Johnson turned purple. Don't come crawling back later. Jay dragged me out without a backward glance. Neither of us noticed. Margaret had gone pale watching us hold hands. Jay was furious. He hauled me to the parking garage, slamming me against the wall. Emily, you knew this was a setup, didn't you? I couldn't deny it. My silence made Jay's eyes burn. Emily, do you even have a heart? I turned away. He forced my face back. You knew. You fucking knew. Jay looked feral. I admitted it. I knew. Jay laughed bitterly. When he stopped, he nearly ripped my collar open, only to cover me back up, shaking. Emily. Tears streamed down his face. You knew. Not just tonight. 2 years ago during that storm, you knew. 2 years ago. Before the thunderclap, lightning had illuminated the window, and my reflection. He'd seen my eyes flicker open, then shut again, feigning sleep. My lips trembled, but I couldn't admit it. All I could say was, Jay, apologize to your father. You're his son. You deserve better. A future with someone young, unbroken. Shut up. Jay's voice cracked. Emily, you know, you're the only good thing I've ever had. I broke down sobbing. I couldn't speak. All I could do was cradle his face. This is wrong, Jay. This is so wrong. I was weak. I couldn't escape my guilt, my warped sense of duty. Margaret had mentored me for 14 years. She called me her closest friend. Promised me a future at Johnson & Company. But I never got that future. Only her shattered family. Emily, please take Jay. I'm begging you. I could never refuse Margaret. I wanted her happy, carefree. But I'd ruined everything. Through my tears, I thought I saw Margaret standing frozen nearby, her purse hitting the ground. I prayed it was a hallucination. But Margaret was already sprinting toward us. She yanked Jay away, hand raised. I braced for the slap. But it never landed on me. Jay! How dare you? How could you love Emily? Margaret sobbed, beating Jay's chest. Mom! She screamed. If I'm still your mother, stop this madness and find a proper wife. Jay shoved her off. Margaret, you lost the right to control me when you sent me away. Margaret kept pulling at him. I'm your mother. I won't let you do this. Apologize to your father. Win that girl back. Why? Jay went still, staring at her. You abandoned me. You and that bastard taught me no one can be trusted. And you're the one who brought her into my life. Now you're telling me I can't love her? Margaret staggered back, looking at me crumpled on the ground, then deflated. Jay, what if I told you? Emily was hurt by your father? Before she could elaborate, her phone rang. Teddy had a fever, their nanny was gone, and Daniel didn't know local hospitals. She hesitated only a second, then grabbed her purse. I have to go. But Jay, remember what I said. She vanished into the parking garage. Jay, reeling, didn't dare touch me. Emily, what did that bastard do to you? I couldn't answer. Jay's face twisted. He spun toward the exit. I'll kill him. Stop. I lurched up, nearly fainting. Jay caught me just in time. When the dizziness passed, I clutched his sleeve. It's not what you think. Or what Margaret thought. The truth was simple. But people always dramatized it. 8 years ago, I just started interning at Johnson & Company. Margaret had already left. HR knew I was the Johnson family's charity case, but not which spouse had sponsored me. So rumors spread that Mr. Johnson had funded me for 14 years. Back then, the gossip wasn't extreme. But as the divorce escalated, Mr. Johnson grew hostile, summoning me for hours. Sometimes to berate me. Sometimes just to make me stand there. Once he'd even said, "You're just like your mother, born to ruin marriages." I hadn't flinched. My childhood had been full of worse. If this spared Margaret even a little pain in the divorce, it was worth it. But the rumors spiraled. Everyone said I'd seduced Mr. Johnson for his money, causing the divorce. Amid the scandal, Mr. Johnson panicked and fired me. But the damage was done. No reputable firm would hire me. Margaret couldn't bear seeing me struggle. So she gave me a coffee franchise. Emily, consider this compensation. Only now did I realize. Margaret had truly believed her ex-husband had violated me. Jay, let the past stay buried. No one had wronged me. If anything, I'd betrayed Margaret's trust. I couldn't imagine the fallout if our sick relationship came to light. The devastation it would bring her. Jay agreed. then secretly went to Margaret. She was frantic, arranging a pediatrician, barely glancing at him. "Why are you here?" "I'm busy. I know a private hospital for Teddy." Margaret agreed instantly. By night's end, exhaustion had stripped her elegance bare. Jay sat beside her. Margaret sighed. "What do you want?" Jay shook his head. "Emily already told me everything." "She did? Even about?" "If you'd ever confronted Andrew, you'd know the truth." Margaret absorbed this, then met Jay's gaze. "So why come? I'm keeping her." "Impossible." "Why not?" Margaret faltered. Jay pressed on. "You're scared. Scandal would ruin her reputation, and your perfect new life." Margaret had no rebuttal. "Margaret, I'm your mother." Jay ignored her. "You love appearances. Strong on the surface, but crumbling at the slightest pressure. You needed someone to bear your burdens. First Andrew, then Emily. Abroad, with Emily gone, you found Daniel." Margaret's eyes watered. "Jay, are you blaming me now? After all I've done." She'd given him everything. Even swallowed her pride to secure his guardianship. "What more do you want, Jay?" The heartbroken plea left Jay unmoved. "Nothing. Just stop interfering, Mom." My phone buzzed awake. Not Jay. A storm warning. From my 22nd floor window, the black clouds loomed ominously, and Jay still wasn't home. By 10 p.m., his usual video call hadn't come. I stared at my phone, then initiated the call myself. The ringtone echoed through the storm. "Love song. Love song. Love song." The repeated lyrics taunted me. No one answered. I texted Margaret in panic. "He must have gone to her." "Is Jay back?" "He left an hour ago." An hour ago, the winds had just started. Emergency alerts urged citizens to stay indoors. Was Jay still out there? Bang! Something heavy hit the window. Rain lashed violently against the glass. I couldn't see the streets below. For the first time, real fear gripped me. Was Jay stranded? No, he must have taken shelter. But I couldn't convince myself. I knew Jay would come home to me. He'd never leave me alone. Because he feared I'd run from him, even if it destroyed me. I couldn't wait. I bolted for the door, only to collide with a drenched Jay. We stared at each other. Jay kicked the door shut behind him. Water pooled at our feet. No words, just his rain-salted lips crashing into mine. "Jay, you taste like salt." Tears blurred my vision as he lifted me onto the entryway table. This kiss felt like both surrender and farewell. More desperate than any before. Entryway. Living room. Bathroom. We were both crying. Margaret went home. Her real home. Jay's eyes were red. His expression shattered. Margaret has Daniel. Andrew has his new family. Only we have nowhere to go. He buried his face in my shoulder, voice breaking. "Emily, can't you just love me? So I won't be homeless anymore." After putting Teddy to bed, Daniel finally checked on Margaret. "Honey, what's wrong?" Margaret watched the storm rage outside. "Is he home yet?" Jay had left before the downpour. An hour was more than enough time to drive back. Unless that idiot was out there drowning himself. Margaret remembered Jay's last words. "We've both been using her. Andrew was a monster. He preyed on her youth and helplessness. You exploited her loyalty and love for you. And I. He knew me too well. Knew my moral compass would never let me rest." Before driving home, Jay had seen the storm warning. He'd deleted the alert. He was gambling everything on my love for him. I was weak and overly sentimental. 8 years ago, 12-year-old Jay had called Margaret a selfish bitch. I defended her. She's suffered enough. It's not her fault. 8 years later, when Margaret introduced her 3-year-old to Jay, I'd nearly wept, finally seeing her cruelty. I realized my love had shifted. I was irredeemable. Another stormy night. I stared at the window. Lightning flashed, revealing our reflection. Jay turned my face to his kiss possessive. "Emily, you're so warm. No more dating, okay? If you're lonely, use me instead. If it's too much, we'll keep it secret." Because from the moment Margaret left, we'd only ever had each other.